all, we people should know what is the difference between the undigested material and excretory material. There is a huge difference. To know the excretory system, to start the excretory system, we should know the difference between the undigested and excretory. Excretory product and undigested material. So what is undigested material? For about undigested material, we discussed already.
The material which is not absorbed by the body.
Yeah, very good. That means when we take carbohydrate, when we take protein, when we take fats, the foodstuffs, whatever the foodstuffs we are taken, who pass through the alimentary canal, as we said, they are going to be digested in the small intestine. And when they get digested in the small intestine, that leftover undigested foodstuffs, we use it that in the name, same name, undigested food will pass into the large intestine, and we absorb water from that undigested food, and we eliminate undigested food in the form of fecal matter. This is what we learn in digestive system. Okay. So what about excretory product then? What about excretory product? So whenever we get started the story here, means the carbohydrate digested in the form of glucose. Proteins are digested in the form of amino acids. Fats are digested in the form of lipids and fatty acids and glycerol. Okay, what is the what next here after that particular digestion is over? Digested foodstuffs are reached to
small intestine.
Yeah, from the microvilli of the small intestine through the blood, they reach to all over the body, isn't it? Yes. Means what is the meaning of all over the body? That means they reach to the cell level. When they reach to the cell, what we do with this glucose?
Energy. The breakdown of oxygen.
How? How we get energy? By breaking with the help of oxygen. When you break this glucose with the help of oxygen, what will form? Energy. We call 38 ATPs. Along with this energy, what is the another product is getting, which we are?
Carbon dioxide.
That is excretory material. Got it now? That is called excretory material. Carbon dioxide is the excretory material. So in that way, we can say lungs are also excretory organs. Isn't it or not? Lungs are also excretory organ, eliminating an excretory waste material called carbon dioxide. Okay. Then let's take amino acid. When the amino acids are reaches to the cell, we use amino acids for various metabolic activities. That means amino acid can make hormones. Amino acids can make different kinds of proteins which are required for the body. That in that particular metabolic activity, the waste materials is going to be formed here. We call them as amines, which are going to be converted in the form of ammonia. So that majorly we are discussing about this ammonia, about that excretory material we are talking about. So carbon dioxide is an excretory material. Ammonia is an excretory material. So what is the undigested food? What is the excretory waste material? I think you people came to understand. What is exactly undigested? What is that excretory waste material?
Not absorbed by the...
So in our language, if you want to say, the fecal matter is solid, which is called undigested, which is going to be eliminated in the body through the anus. Okay, that is yellow in color. That excretory waste material, whatever it is, ammonia, urea, uric acid, whatever it is, excretory waste materials are going to be carbon dioxide way. We know that already they are going to the lungs. Ammonia, urea, uric acid will be eliminated in the form of urine via kidney. So that means in our topic, in our chapter, we are going to discuss about this particular excretory waste material we are talking about. So animals are going to accumulate ammonia as an excretory waste material because of metabolic activities. The animals are going to accumulate ammonia, urea, uric acid. We call these are all nitrogenous waste material. And we know that the carbon dioxide, how it is getting formed over. This is also is an excretory waste material, we can say. Then water. Okay, so we can say water. Then various little amount of water. We are not saying that complete water is that various ions like sodium ions, potassium ions, chloride ions. That means limited amount. We require some, we don't require some. So that's mean if it is excess, if it is, we consider it as a excretory waste material. Phosphate, sulfate. So these are all going to be when it comes here excess, that we are going to eliminate them, that through the food material, when they get accumulated in the body, that we are going to eliminate in the form of excretory waste material. So in this particular material, some are removed totally, some are removed going to be partially, that we are going to make that kind of separation in the that running chapter. We will make a whom we are separating, eliminating totally, whom we are going to eliminate partially. So these kind of mechanism of elimination of these substances with special emphasis, which we are going for, that basically common nitrogenous waste material, major nitrogenous waste materials, if we say that the red one, ammonia, urea, uric acid, these are going to be called as major nitrogenous wastes, ammonia, urea, and uric acid. These three are said to be the major nitrogenous wastes, we can say here. In the way that we just talk about the whole topic, nitrogenous wastes, we used to say. These are excreted by the animals. Among these excretory waste materials, repeating the same as we learned earlier, that is ammonia. Ammonia is toxic, highly toxic. Urea, yeah, ammonia is, yeah. So that ammonia is highly toxic. We can say uric acid is going to be least toxic. Ammonia is more toxic and uric acid is going to be least toxic. About the toxicity we are talking about. And urea moderately toxic. So with that we can say here, with that we can say adding water. So who require more amount of water to add for dilution? Yeah, more amount of water, large amount of water required for dilution, more amount of water required for dilution for ammonia. So what kind of animals can afford ammonia as an excretory waste? Animals who are having high water availability conditions. Okay, least toxic. That means less amount of water. Less amount of water required for dilution. So what kind of animals are going to eliminate uric acid? Uric acid we are talking about. There less amount of water. That means here, yeah, animals who are living in a water scarcity condition. Here, moderate amount of water. Moderate amount of water. Okay, so required for dilution. So that means here the moderate conditions where more water, less water, not like that. Generally, moderate condition of availability of water makes organisms to eliminate urea. Okay, so one more interesting thing that we have seen earlier, whatever the excretory waste material, we called it as amine. I get started the story from amine. For the conversion of amines into ammonia, no energy required. For this, there is no energy required. Then, when you are converting amine into ammonia and ammonia into urea, we require energy. We require energy. Then, when you are converting amine into ammonia, then ammonia into urea, urea into that we require energy. Wait a minute. So ammonia into urea, urea into uric acid. We require energy. That means the conversion of formation of uric acid is a energy consuming process. We can say here, among the three excretory wastes, which of the excretory wastes have using more energy for the formation? Energy consuming excretory waste material. Who is that? Uric acid. And it requires less energy. And it requires no energy. That means you people need to understand energy usage less and water usage more in ammonia. Then energy moderate, water usage moderate. Urea. Energy usage more and water usage less in case of uric acid. These are the applications you people need to remember in this particular. Okay. Then moving forward. Animals excreting ammonia, we call them as ammonotelic animals. Animals are excreting ammonia, we say them as ammonotelic animals. Our process of excreting ammonia is called ammonotelism. Need to write examples here for ammonotelism, that ammonotelic animals or ammonotelism, we can say here, many bony fishes. Many bony fishes, aquatic amphibian, many bony fishes, what I mean, fresh water. Bony fishes mostly live in fresh water. That's why we are saying that many bony fishes. Aquatic amphibian, what I mean, freshwater organisms. Okay, so aquatic amphibians and aquatic insects. In case of aquatic insects also, we are having ammonia as an excretory material. Ammonia, that their ammonotelism they are going to show. Okay, so what we said, ammonia is readily soluble. Ammonia is readily soluble and generally excreted, because of that nature, readily soluble, their nature, that easily dissolve in the water, excreted by diffusion across the body surfaces. Okay, so because of their soluble nature, they can be eliminated across the body surfaces of the organisms, or when we are talking about the fishes, through the gill surface, in the process called diffusion, that in the form of ammonium ions, it can be eliminated in that way also. That you people need to remember here, they are readily soluble material. That's why that generally excreted by the diffusion across through the body surfaces and through the gill surfaces, like the fish. Gill surfaces means you have to understand that is in the fish as ammonium ions. That means you need to understand kidneys do not play any role in this particular. Significant role of kidney is negligible here. That role of kidney negligible in this case. That those are eliminating ammonium ions to the body surface, through the gill surface, their role of kidney there is negligible. In that case, that you have to remember. Okay. So whenever the organisms are adapted from the fresh water to the terrestrial condition, the terrestrial adaptations made them compulsion here, the production of lesser toxic nitrogenous wastes, because here this is highly toxic waste material. That's why we said this requires some water, large amount of water required. Whenever organisms, as we know that in the process of evolution, or terrestrial organisms are evolved from the freshwater organisms only, aquatic organisms only. Whenever this kind of evolution is happened, animals are now turned into urea excreting animals. Where the particular organisms that